welcome back to my channel. So for today what I thought I would do for you guys is I would show you how to do eyebrow mapping so that you can see how to shape your eyebrows according to your face. So a couple of videos ago I did a video on how I tint and shape my eyebrows every day. So reason being I'm making another one is I've had a lot of people ask me how I decided to pick the shape for my eyebrows. So my eyebrows now have no product on them. You can pretty much see they're pretty much there. I have a few hairs that aren't quite grown yet, but all in all they're here. So due to all the requests, I thought what I would do for you is I would show you how to, for the first time, shape and map your eyebrows. If you're interested, please keep watching. As I said, we're going to do some eyebrow mapping today. So what you'll need to do this is some cotton, preferably white, nothing fancy. I normally just cut a piece, double it over. Then what you'll need is some concealer. I just use my Catrice one. Sorry guys, my camera seems not to want to autofocus today. You're literally going to take a section of the string and apply concealer to it. Quite a nice amount because you want to be able to see it. What you're going to do is we're now going to start the mapping process. So what I like to do is you take the string from the corner of the nose, corner of the eye, straight up, and you make a mark. So I'll come in, hope it focuses for you. So you can see it makes like a little line. And we'll do the same with the other side. And just make enough to make a small little line. You don't need anything super visible. Now the second line we choose is from the corner of the nose to the outer 2/3 of the eye, or just on the exit of the pupil. And the third line from the outer corner of the nose, outer corner of the eye. That determines where your eyebrow will end. So as you can see, my 3 lines on that eyebrow. We're going to go in and finish the other one. Same thing. Outer 2/3 of the eye, or the exit of the pupil. And the outer corner of the nose, outer corner of the eye. So that is our baseline in my hair. That's the base of where we start with the mapping. Then what you need to do is you need to decide where you want the bottom of your eyebrow to be. And the top. So you can see roughly making like, you then go midline of the face. Just want to touch it down so you actually get it there. You now want to get the right angle of eyebrow. So you're going to go from line to line. And from middle line to outer line. This will give you a rough shape, and then you do the same for the top. You go from first line to second line, and then you go from that point down. Now this gives you a rough shape of what you're looking at. Try and focus it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do the same with this. You look like quite a bit of a mess now, as you can see. But this just gives you a better idea of how your eyebrows are naturally shaped according to your face and your eyebrow bone, because obviously you want to follow the bone because that's your natural shaping lines. You also want to make sure that your eyebrows suit your face. So now that we've got these lines drawn or mapped on, what we go in with is we're going to tint them then. So this is normally for if it's the first time and you're not sure what shape you're supposed to go with, or how you're meant to decide which hairs to remove. Which I get, you don't want to also remove the wrong ones because then you end up with far too little hair in certain places. Okay, so what I go in with, I use the Reflecto Sol eyelash and eyebrow tint in the shade 1, Pure Black. Just a little tube like this. You use really just a small amount into a glass little container that you can clean at least. Mine's a little stained. So you're just going to squeeze out quite a small amount, just about that much. Pop it into your jar. And then you're going to add, I literally just pour mine out, about 4 or 5 little drops. You can use a syringe and squirt a little bit if you're a bit too nervous to just pour it yourself. Like I said, I've been doing it for a while obviously, so I kind of just eye it out. I'm not too stressed. Oh, brush. And it. So I like to use a very fine brush that I got from Planet Nails. So it's really just a thin bristled brush which I use. So then I mix my bit of tint and my hydrogen peroxide volume 10 together until it makes a paste. Obviously if you put a little bit too much liquid, then what you can do is just add a little bit more of your tint. So again, just squeeze a small amount, as much as you think you'll need, pop it in, and mix. You also want to make a small amount, you don't want to also waste any product, so the less you use the better at first, until you understand just how much quantity wise you need. So for when we tint, now that we've got these lines, is you want to tint inside the lines that give you that little bit of shape. So I'm going to start off with my right eyebrow. This also helps you even your eyebrows out if you find the one's got an arch that's higher than the other, or that the one is a little bit thicker and you're not too sure where you're meant to thin it out. Now you can use this mapping method even just for tweezing or waxing your eyebrows at home with the Mandy or Veet home wax strips or wax kits. You don't need to tint to do this only. Also a big heads up, if you've got very blonde hair and you're also wanting to make your eyebrows just a little bit darker, what you can do is not leave them to develop for as long. So I would say about 2 minutes of the tint being on and then you remove it. I'm just going to neaten up and make sure I keep inside those lines that we drew. So there you have it. So you see now that this eyebrow has got an arch in the same place as this one. You can see that it thickens and then it thins out and tails off. And your tail's always going to be thinner than the starting and midpoint of your eyebrow because you want it to shape the face. So you always want it to pull your face outwards to give it a more open and elongated effect. You don't want to have this short stubby looking face. Just want to make sure I fill in everywhere. Now we're going to go into the other one. So a big tip with tinting your eyebrows is to always make sure that you keep your arches rounded. No one has square eyebrow bones, they round off quite naturally. So you want to keep that so that they look a little softer and natural when you clean them off. I leave mine on for, like I said in the previous video, for about 5 minutes. Any longer than that is fine for me, but you start to also tint your skin then, and you don't really want it to be on your skin because it will just wash off and then it does look a little weird later on. So you're just going to use 2 damp cotton pads to remove your tint, and that's just going to be because one for each eye. So you can also judge if you can see that the hairs are starting to look a bit dark and you're wanting to maybe make sure it's not going to be too harsh. You can wipe it off early. You can just pop cotton wool. And that is my tinted eyebrow. Brush it into the right places so that you can see. And there you have it, that's my tinted one. As you can see, I am having like a bit of a sparse patch here, and this is where I'm still busy growing hairs. So it will take a couple more months of growing. But I've already got a more natural and even shaped eyebrow look. By the way, the mascara I'm wearing is an Essence mascara. If you guys are interested to see a review on different mascaras and their effects, what's good and what I found is not so good, please comment in the comment section with a yes if that's something you would be interested in seeing. And that is my tinted eyebrows after mapping. So you can already see they follow each other up, they are to the same point, round down, both at the same point. So it's a lot more even and natural looking. Once I have these hairs in specific places, then I will not have to worry so much about them looking a little bit uneven, because at the moment obviously I've still got to get some hairs in certain places to even them out a bit more. But for now, this works. So with mapping, I've still got lines everywhere. Once you've done tinting eyebrows and you've cleaned them off, what you can do to figure out where to remove hairs is you literally go just above where you've put all your tint. So because all of those hairs obviously aren't needed, they're not what was in your mapping shape. If you want to. Obviously, I advise being a bit careful with this, because if you remove too many hairs in the wrong place, it can then change the shape of your eyebrow again. So just be slow and careful when it comes to shaping them. I obviously don't need to shape my eyebrows as I've already got a shape. I don't really have stray hairs growing, I just have to tint the ones that aren't always as dark. So you can see how natural it looks compared to my hair. So if I put my hair back down, it is wild. So yeah, it matches my natural hair color and it makes it look more like it's supposed to be that way. It doesn't look out of place. I hope you guys found that video informative and helpful. If you did, please leave me a comment and let me know. So just a little bit about mapping. Mapping is normally used when we do microblading or permanent makeup. Just because obviously when you're having something semi-permanent or permanent, you want to make sure that it's perfect. You don't want to have misshapen eyebrows and then you walk around like that forever. When you're doing mapping with makeup or like an everyday makeup, it does take a little bit longer. Obviously, it's not advised to do it that way. But if you've got something like an awards or a dinner or a work function and you want to make sure that you got a little bit extra, then definitely take the time to do it. With makeup, what you would do is I'd normally start them with my eyebrows and I would map them out, fill them in with either a pomade or a powder, then use a flat concealer brush and clean up around the edges and smooth it out. You'll also then go over and touch up those sides, those areas where you put lines in with your foundation, so you're not too stressed about it looking weird with the lines. But yes, thank you guys. If anyone has anything they'd like me to review or talk about, please leave me a comment and let me know. Bye.